So it's been a very busy week. My brother got married on the 13th, which was Friday the 13th. Yes, my brother's just as cool as I am. And so I was dealing with that for the last few days. And today was my birthday. So I guess technically it is still my birthday right now. So happy birthday to me. Um, but on the last night of his wedding uh, get together. We were together for like 3 days in a Airbnb, him and his wife and tons of other people. Uh, Everyone went to bed but a couple of us, and they wanted me to suggest a movie, so I suggested we watch The Babysitter since none of them had seen it, and because Samara Weaving is perfection, it sparked my interest in rewatching Ready or Not, which I have not seen since theaters. Now, when I saw it in theaters, I thought it was good. I had a good time. It was fun. But I actually found myself to be a little disappointed in the movie, and that was because I felt that the kills were lacking and that the comedy just didn't land for me as much as I wish it had. Samara Weaving, of course, was absolute perfection in the film, both physically and in her performance. So I was very pleased with her. It's just that I wasn't crazy about the movie like a lot of people were, and was really, really looking forward to going back and rewatching this time, hoping that my opinion would change on it, because I'm seriously infatuated with Samara Weaving right now and want to rewatch everything that she's ever done. And having gone back and watching this, and I want to also say that this is a review for my brother and his new wife, Holly. I say that because it's a movie about a wedding, right? So it kind of sparked my interest in addition, because I was like, oh yeah, it's a movie about weddings as well. So there you go. I'll dedicate this review to them. That they'll never watch. That's fine. But I'm still going to dedicate it to them. But upon this rewatch, I honestly feel exactly the same. I really enjoy aspects of the movie. I think Samara Weaving, of course, I'm sorry I keep mentioning her, but fuck, she's outrageous. She's like the perfect chick. Just the way she acts in her movies, the way she acts in The Babysitter before, of course, what ends up happening, the way she acts in this movie, she's perfect. She's like the chick that every dude's looking for, and probably why I'm still single, because I'm waiting to find someone like that. And everyone will roll their eyes and be like, oh, Jason's looking for perfection, and that's why he's going to stay single forever. Okay, I guess I'll stay single forever. Whatever. That's my burden to bear. But yeah, yet again, I thought most of the kills were very lackluster. Samara's character here, she has multiple opportunities to finish the job, because they do make her this badass who's surviving the night. And that's what I expected from this movie, was for her to be this dominant female protagonist, protect herself, wreck the family, kind of like in The End of Your Next. I shouldn't even say The End of Your Next. I mean, that chick is like brutal throughout, like half the movie at least, where she's fucking everyone up. And I guess that's what I was expecting. And in a way, because I don't expect this to be the same character. Samara Weaving's character in this is not prepared. She didn't grow up on some compound or something where they, a survivalist compound or whatever it was in Your Next. So I don't expect her to be that level. But there's multiple times when she has people on the ground. Now, is it more realistic that her character doesn't kill people while they're on the ground? Sure. Sure. And I shouldn't say I blame the movie for this, but I'm only talking about it from my desires and what I would like to see, of course. So, is it more believable that she wouldn't brutalize these people while she has them knocked out on the ground, like she does to the mom, to Andy McDowell's character in this, where she finally at the end just takes the box and just beats this fucking chick's head in? which was like, yes, where was this? I needed more of this throughout the film. But she kind of had to be led to that place, which is fine. And it's kind of a good character arc for her, that at first she's just trying to deal with the night and this and that. I don't know. I guess my bloodlust just can't be quenched. I would rather have her beat him up. But even if she did, I guess I always complain about the she's got him on the ground, she doesn't finish him off kind of thing. Because one area where that doesn't exactly work, and I understand why they don't do it, is in a film with one killer. If you kill the killer, then the movie's over, right? So I get why a Laurie Strode can't kill the Michael Myers when he's on the ground, because that's the only Michael Myers, right? But in these kinds of movies, like a You're Next or multiple killer movies, it does give you that ability to kill as many people as you want, because they could have wrote in, 5 more characters for her to brutalize and kill and give us that catharsis. And we just, I don't know, it's not there. And then when it is there, there's the kills for the most part are kind of blah. Save for the ending, of course, where everyone just starts exploding, which is glorious. And, it's like, yes, and you kind of clap your hands. Now, at the same time, you seen one, you seen it all. I mean, it's great, and it, kind of extends upon itself, and it's like funny every time, but it's the same kill over and over again, right? The bodies are exploding into a big mess, and that's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, as I said. I mean, we've seen this before. I've seen it in plenty of things. But this one looks really good, and I'm all about that. But the kills outside of that, I mean, I like when they're ditching the bodies down, like the maids or the servants that dress like they're in a freaking Robert Palmer video. When they're like taking those chicks and they're like throwing them down there, and their bodies have that weight, and they hit down there, and one's headless, and they throw the head back down there with it. That's cool, and I like that. I don't know. I think that if the comedy would have landed better for me, and the kills were amplified, we got some brutal, fun, like laugh out loud. I mean, I'm one of those kinds of people that when kills are extremely brutal and extremely over the top, I laugh out loud because it's a joy to me to see. I'm usually one of the only people in the theater. Sometimes I have like another few people in there that agree with me and are laughing, that are similar to me, fucked in the head, I guess. Then we get a bunch of dirty looks from everyone else in the theater, like, why does this person think this is funny to see a brutal kill on screen? It's just what I like. It's what I enjoy. So if there would have been kills like that in this movie, which there is zero outside of their bodies exploding, which, as I said, it becomes kind of repetitive and redundant at one point, I would have enjoyed myself much more, and the humor as well. So those are really my big things. This was directed by Radio Silence, which I was actually going to mention. The body exploding thing reminded me of VHS 2 with the Safe Haven segment, which is funny because the night before that, actually it was the day before that, right before I left in the morning, I threw on The Night Comes for Us to show some of my friends there, because that movie's fucking perfect. Just such an unbelievably fantastic film with some of the most gnarly fight sequences, kill scenes you'll ever watch. If you haven't seen The Night Comes for Us and you're a martial arts fan and you like brutal fight sequences, think John Wick, but more like hand-to-hand combat that ends in tragedy for the loser, I suppose. Definitely check that out. But that's the same guy who directed Safe Haven, along with, of course, Gareth from The Raid. And this kind of reminds me of some of the segments, the body explosions in Safe Haven. I haven't seen Safe Haven in a long time. But then VHS 1, the last segment in there, the ghost segment, the haunted house or whatever. I guess it's a possession movie, haunted house kind of thing. You've seen it. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But that was directed by Radio Silence. And this, I don't remember what else they did. They did something else, but I'm having a hard time. Maybe Did they? Yeah, they've done something else. Can't remember what it was, but regardless. So it was cool to see them on a bigger film like this. I mean, this wasn't huge. This got a limited release, if I remember correctly, or did it get a wide? It got a wide, but it wasn't like a wide. It wasn't like every theater, to my memory. It was like a medium wide, right? I don't know what the hell they call that. A mild wide? No, they have a better name for it. I don't know what the hell it is. So we got Daniel's character here, who is the most conflicted character in the movie. You know, he gave up the guy when he was a kid. We end up finding out that that was the crazy aunt or whoever, the white-haired lady who's a total fucking psycho throughout the movie. That was her husband. She had to give her husband up. She believes in the cause so very much. And Daniel was a kid, gave the guy up, and has just never emotionally recovered from it, like one would expect, unless the kid was a total sociopath, which he doesn't end up seeming to be. I guess that's the guy she should have ended up with, because isn't that the brother that's hitting on her, though? When she's in the opening, she's like, and his drunk brother keeps hitting on me. I mean, it's Samara Weaving. I don't know. I mean, if it was my brother's wife, no, I wouldn't hit on her. But outside of him, I don't know. She's just unreal. I don't even if it was my brother's, I don't know how you could talk to someone that I find to be that attractive without organically flirting. You know what I mean? You're not trying to flirt. You're just like, they're so sexy, you can't help it. You go into like autopilot flirtation. They're dazzling. They're you look at them and you're just like, oh yeah, anyway, and you're just like dumbfounded by their beauty, and it's like, it's an absolutely organic thing. I mean, you could catch yourself in the middle and be like, what the fuck are you doing? But then you'd look at them and you'd be like, oh, lost in it again. So I don't know. If I was ever around this kind of girl, and I have. I mean, she's not. It's not like I grew up in LA. I grew up in freaking by the beach in LA. I've seen girls like Samara Weaving plenty of times, and when you're around them, you're just like, you're so glazed. It's crazy the power that they have over you. It really is. It's pretty pathetic, to be completely honest. I would just be putty in this chick's hands for a while. And then once the shine wore off, if she didn't have a personality, it wouldn't matter. Like if we started dating, like once I got past the excitement of touching her and kissing her and fucking her and all that, then it would wear thin if she sucked, as a person for a while. But at first, especially when you can't touch them, then you're just like, oh, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. All the chicks in this movie are pretty fucking gorgeous. I mean, you got the sister, this cokehead sister. She's adorable. I remember her from, I know she plays Winona Earp in that Winona Earp show. I've never seen it, but it looks fun. I mean, it's like she hunts demons and shit, and she's like a descendant of Wyatt Earp. Sounds fun. I think it's a sci-fi show, right? Didn't it run like 3 seasons? But she's also in Saw 6. I remember her in that. But she's hot, and then you've got the other sister, the wife of Daniel. She's hot. The maids, the servants are hot. I mean, Andie MacDowell is pretty for an older lady in this one. She's got to be in her 50s in this, late 50s, mid 50s, somewhere in that area. I mean, I remember back in Groundhog Day or whatever. Yeah, I mean, or plenty of other movies. She's a very pretty lady. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's outside of the freaking gray-haired 70-year-old woman who looks like a fucking nutcase. I think everybody else in this movie is very attractive. So they got some good looking ladies for the movie, which is never going to hurt. And yeah, I like that all the servants just keep getting killed one after the other. But that was an opportunity to make the deaths memorable and fun. And they're just not. They're just not that great. And it's a bummer. Unlike The Babysitter, which I just watched, and the kills are amazing. Throw the kills from the babysitter in here, that like trophy death, and like, oh my god, the deaths in the babysitter are fucking fantastic. Why aren't those in here? Why isn't that level of kill in this movie? See what I'm talking about? If we would have had some kills like that in this movie, it would have amplified the movie tenfold for me. But we don't have it. The Converse and the torn dress look that she has, she throws on a little Converse and tears the dress and is walking around with it. Oh my god, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm just being a broken record here and annoying some of you, being like, Jesus, guy just gonna talk about how hot this chick is the whole time. Have you watched my videos? That's fucking exactly what I'm gonna do. And yeah, we talked about all that. I like when, the kid shoots her in a hand. She falls down into this like body freaking dumping ground, carcass hole. That's what I wrote down, carcass hole. And then she kind of climbs herself out. Ladder breaks. She has to use like her hand with the hole in it to stick on a nail and then pull herself up. I mean, you can feel that scene for sure. So that was good. And you get to see the indoctrination of the children in this as they're telling them the LeBears or whatever story. LeBears. I'm thinking of LeBears. Is that what it is in this? LeBears? Can't be. It's LeBear, something like that. There's something here in my town called LeBears, so that's why I'm thinking about it. And so that's fucked up to watch kids get indoctrinated like that. But we indoctrinate our kids with all sorts of nonsense all the time. Just our own personal beliefs, our own personal freaking, scope on things. None of, a lot of it which is just all up for debate or total bullshit. So kids are really a product of what you put into them. And this is on the worst end of the spectrum. On what you could teach a kid for sure. Daniel, of course, ends up being the almost savior here. He ends up being the savior because they would have killed her had he not done this. But spikes their drinks with something. Didn't mean to kill them. He says that they'll shit weird for a week and they'll live, so he doesn't want them to die. But he definitely wants her to live, and he clearly doesn't believe in the curse. Because he says, like, oh, they'll be fine. Like, he clearly doesn't believe in it. And he's willing to risk it, I guess. And then Charity, his wife, comes out and shoots him in the neck. And she gets her ass brutalized by a gun, by the butt of a gun. But she doesn't really seem to be all that broken up when she's in the next sequence up again. She should have, like, a broken-ass face. But she doesn't look that messed up. And now the first time I saw this, and even the second time I saw this, I wasn't sure about how I felt about the ending. But on the second viewing, once the body started to explode and I saw her laughing, I was like, okay, I'm sold on it. Like, I'm glad it ended this way. But the other version of this ending of, oh my god, it didn't work. Oh my god, we fucking killed a whole bunch of people. Now we feel like assholes. And we have to live with that. And, like, how the hell could we believe in something so stupid? I like that ending, too. So, I kind of like that they went there. But at the same time, to just watch them go, holy shit. We just killed, like, I just killed my husband. My wife died. We've killed people in the past. We just traumatized this young girl. Like, all those things kind of running through their head, and her just kind of walking out of the house like, yeah, y'all motherfuckers are going to prison. Now, of course, they spun it in a different direction, and the aunt or whatever is still a firm believer, and she goes after her and explodes. And we know how the ending ends up happening, but a different ending with them realizing it is fake. I think the realizing it is fake thing is the obvious ending, right? So this was actually kind of the ballsier ending. And as I said, with the bodies exploding and her laughing her ass off, I do prefer this ending because of her reaction to everything, and because of all of the expressions and the acceptance and of their demise in this, and just like the kids run around the corner with the mom and all the blood, like all three. I like that the kids blow up too. I knew they wouldn't show them on screen, but the fact that they actually did blow up, I think is insanely unfair. That they're little children and they die like this, but at the same time, it's fucking hilarious. So I'm fine with it. And then yeah, she comes out bloody, and I guess when you're married into the family, if you're part of the game as the suck, the no, seek, the seeked, the seeked, no, the suck. I don't know how the hell you would say that, but if you're the one being sought after, um, I guess you're not part of the family in that moment. But if you were to play the game and then be at the end, now is she? No, she can't be part of the family. So anyway, does I guess my question is in the other versions, like when the card thing spat out old maid, like the one guy said, uh, if the person didn't finish old maid with them, would the entire family blow up, or is it only on this? Did they explain that in the movie? They might have, but I'm curious on if every game that comes out of there has to be played or they all die. Um, but this one's the only one that has a ritual to it, so I would assume this is the only one that it matters. Like if they drew the old maid card and they didn't play, I guess nothing happens. But if you draw the hide and seek one, then that's when she has to be killed. Because this isn't a like we'll just play hide and seek and like you go and hide, and if, as long as we find you before dawn, we don't die. And it's like, oh no, this one you got to kill her. This is a different version of this game, obviously. So the other ones in the past you didn't have to. So I guess that would answer my question. I didn't know if there was a curse on every game or this or that, but I'm pretty sure that's the answer. Anyways, there you go, ready or not. So congratulations to my brother and his wife. It was a great wedding, and that's why I've been MIA for days and days. And also happy birthday to me. So thank you guys, and I got a shitload more stuff to review. I've watched so much stuff since the last time I reviewed something. Half of it or more I'm not even going to review probably. Maybe I'll do one of those like rapid fire review videos like I did before and review like 6, 7 things, TV series and whatnot. We'll see. Adios.